Well, as of this recording, I'm 74 years old. I was born in a little town in Kansas, Spearville, which is about 17 miles east of Dodge City, Kansas. So I grew up out on the plains. My parents moved there before, probably in the early 1930s or 1929, about the time of the bank failures, because my dad was working in the banks in Hays, Kansas. And at that time, when the banks went into bank failure, well, of course, people lost their jobs and everything, so he was looking for a job when he got the one at Ford County State Bank in Spearville, Kansas. So that's how we came to live there. Where he had been living, my mother and the rest of my family, my brothers and sisters, was in Hays, Kansas, just south of Catherine.
Yeah, south of
Catherine, where the original Schmidts, my dad's last name was Schmidt, and my mother Staub's, where they had their parents and their grandparents had come to from Russia in the late 1800s, about 1875, 1876. So that's sort of the migration of the family. My mother and dad were married in Hays. They trying to stop to think a minute. There was a big age difference between my mother and my dad. My mother was 17 when she married my dad, who was 28. He had been a man of the world, so to speak, because he had been away from their small community. He had gone to college, and he had actually entered the seminary and had studied for a number of years to become a priest, when he decided that that was not the life for him, and went back to Kansas, took a job as a teacher in a small town, and started courting my mother, who was quite young then, and of course married her when she was only 17, which was acceptable in those days. They started their family right away, had 8 children, 6 of whom lived, and 2 who died in childbirth. And I was the last of their children. So my parents, by the time I came along, when I was born in 35, my dad was already going on 47 years old. And so he was a very gentle parent, so to speak. He took his time, he had a lot of patience. I think my mother, after that many children, was worn out and really didn't give as much time as she could have, maybe. But he picked up the slack, and my memories of him were very strong. My memories of my mother and the things we did, not quite so much. But it was a good childhood. I wasn't denied much, being the last one. Grew up there in Spearville, went to high school there, went to Dodge City Community College and St. Mary the Plains College for a couple of years before I moved to Denver and started working at the bank there. Well, I had 3 sisters and 2 brothers. 2 sisters that are still living. My oldest sister, Irene, is now 91, and my sister Tilly is 85. I had a sister, Louise, who died in her early 30s. She had gone to be a nun, and so her name then was Sister Gemma. She was a Precious Blood nun. And my brother Eddie passed away a few years ago. Trying to think, 1999 or 2000, I believe. He would have been probably around 89, 90. My brother Bob passed away a couple of years ago, and he was about 5 years older than myself.